friends. Hello again.
Nobody wants to hear that.
I do, though, so.
Okay, well, I guess I do too. So, shout out to Danny, who reached out to us, who's a big fan of the podcast.
Yes,
surprising to me.
As you guys know, we're always saying if you have any questions, any topics you want to hear, let us know. So big shout out for Danny to reaching out for us and having some questions that they wanted answered. Mm-hmm. So the questions were geared more towards not necessarily quarantine, but couples spending time together, whether it's through quarantine or not. So we're just going to go through some of these and give our little take on it. Mm-hmm. So let's see here. We got...
How do you balance personal time, but also time together as a couple? This is the one we've talked about often.
We're not great at this. We are, it just depends. Like me, I've always got my headphones on, so I'm always making my own personal time. I listen to a lot of podcasts, or I'm working out or surfing. Like I just kind of go about my day.
So active and always something, writing something, learning something new, learning a new activity. And me, like, it's good though because I work. I have a job right now. I'm blessed.
For me, it's like a compensation because when I first moved out here to California, so before moving out to California, I graduated college, was living still with my parents. And for me, it was just like, I got lazy very easily. And then it was almost like half of moving out to California it was like a wake up call where it's like, I want to be able to survive on my own, whether that's paying rent, finding a job. Like, I don't like being too comfortable because I'm too young and I don't have enough of a skill set to be able to say, I can sit back and do whatever I want and relax. And so now with COVID, having lost my job, I don't like idle time because shit, for anyone, if you're just alone with your thoughts for too long, it's always going to go negative. And to me, again, I'm too young to not always be working on a skill set. So I'm always, anytime I have blank time, I want to be listening to a podcast or producing something or creating something so that I'm always busy. So that's why, to answer what she was saying.
And for me, I am still working and working more than ever. And it's kind of good that he's occupied because then it doesn't distract me. But when I'm done working at the end of the day, my brain is so fried that I'm the opposite. I don't want to fucking learn anything more. I spend all day reading like a, 20-page contract and I'm like, that's not all I do all day. But at the end of the day, I'm like exhausted and I just want to be a fucking beached whale on the couch and turn my mind off, watch HGTV or watch something on Netflix and not have to think about my life. So it's very opposite. But I think that's the time when we come together. And I also like to cook. It de-stresses me. So. And
then usually when she's done with work, we try to make like that from the time she's done with the work
every night.
Yeah, we have dinner together every night. And that's kind of the start of like, all right, from dinner on, we spend the rest of the night together, whether that's usually it's watching something, but yeah.
But I think the one thing, and we've talked about this before, is there's a difference between spending time together and quality time together, because we could literally be in the same room all day for every day for a week. He's here working out. He's listening to a podcast. I'm in my office. Like, we're in the same room. We have an open concept and we're together all the time, but none of that time all day is quality time. I don't really
And this is where we differ. I'm very comfortable just having, like, to me, I re-energize by just having people around. I could have 10 people around here, not talk to anyone, and I'll feel like I spent time with them as long as we're together, because we're just together, we're in the same space, we're just, I don't know, I'm totally fine with that. Whereas her, she likes to be more engaging, more like if we're going to be in the same room, we should be talking, we should be doing stuff, which obviously I get. You can't just not be talking all the time, but I'm comfortable just going in and out of both. I'm not like what I don't like is just, if I'm in a room with someone, I have to be talking to them the whole time. I like just being able to go in and out as I need to.
And I don't want to talk to you all the time either. But what I'm saying is, like, if I finished work and I had a hard day and I want to like vent about something, or like, I don't know, I can't go visit my friends and like have a girls' night. So it would just be nice if you would be like, okay, I'm ready now. And then I always say it's called being my trash can. Sometimes I don't need a solution. I just need to dump out all my problems into the trash, and you're my trash can. And you don't have to give me any advice. It's the easiest thing. All you have to do is nod your head and say yes, because I am capable of solving all my problems, but I need to get it off my chest.
See, this is hard for us guys, because us, at least with me and my guy friends, we all agree like we want to fix things. We always want to fix, like I just said about skill sets. If there's a problem, let's find a solution. Let's not just talk about it.
I know the solution, but the problem is
I
plaguing
know.
my
I'm just
mind.
saying that's how we see it. We don't.
I know that's how you see it, and you need to see how I see it, and just do what I say.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, boss. Hey.
So sometimes if he's like blah 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 blah, or he is busy learning something on a podcast, I have to be like, hey, I need a trash can right now, or I'm gonna fucking lose my mind.
Ugh.
And you just have to do it, okay?
I know. Just have to do it.
And
I'm
just
try to get better at it.
I've noticed too, like sometimes I'll be like, blah, 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 and you are in the middle of something, and I have a hard time because I'm gonna be like, talk to me, but I just say, okay, wait. I say, let me know when you're ready to talk, and then I wait for him to turn off his thing. He's like, okay, I'm ready, because I have to respect his shit, and he has to respect mine, or else we can't live together, and we're gonna stab each other in our sleep.
That's where I loved having another roommate, because when Crystal was here, you guys could just talk it all out.
I know.
And I could just go do my own thing. Oh, so perfect.
Well, we can't have a roommate forever.
We're gonna hire a professional roommate just to be your trash can.
Oh God, I know.
So hopefully that answered that question. The next one is, what type of things do you do for quality time together? Oh, I guess we kind of answered that. I mean, in COVID, usually it would be go out to dinner, go hang out with friends, if there were some parties they were hosting or whatever, things like that.
Watching
Travel.
The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Well, we did travel, so
But
go.
as of right now in
Traveling.
quarantine, it's mostly watching TV, dinners always together. That's about it.
getting into a show.
Yeah.
We've gone to the beach a few times.
Out to the beach, yeah. I'm more into the outdoor activities. She's not as much, at least the beach ones, aside from being on the beach.
I like to go to the beach.
Yeah, so
It's just, I don't know, it's hard. Anything where the dog can't come, I get sad.
yeah, and I like having Everly around. I like to
See?
make sure she gets attention.
See? She's our baby.
So
But-
yeah, that's about it. Now there's just not a whole lot.
No.
It's like also kind of what makes it easy for us as a couple in particular compared to others. Like I know some couples where like they always want to, or at least one of them
out and do some
always wants to
activity.
be doing something, going,
No,
while
I
the
don't-
other one just wants to relax. Whereas us, we could go
kinda the same.
the entire, I think the first like 3 months of quarantine, we could just literally not go out, and we're just like, I'm fine with that. I don't need to be out right
plus
now.
we don't like spending money and like doing
Yeah.
things like that. Like, I don't know, like it's very strange, but I'm okay just like being with you alone in a room, and I'm okay with
I'm just
it.
fine. Yeah, being the comfort of my own home.
Yeah.
Like it used to be when I would like finish walking the dog, you see like the young kids going out, and you're like, God, where are they going? It's gonna be so much fun. Now I look at it and I'm like, ugh, I am
stressful.
so happy that they're all dressed up. They gotta
Yeah.
take an Uber somewhere, party, get drunk, come back. I'm just dressed down. I'm just gonna plop back on the couch and just relax and pass out.
Joe is entertainment on his own. He'll just do a weird dance and sing for me, and
Come up with songs, It's just
Yeah.
what I do.
Yep.
That's what we do for quality time.
that's our quality
So
time.
sad.
No,
So yeah, I would.
We have our own way. That's our
You just
way.
got to figure out what you
That's
both
why
like.
we work.
You have to figure out what you both like. Hopefully,
Yeah.
obviously, if you're dating, you have common interests you can get into. If not, then you just kind of, like we said, give yourselves time, especially now during quarantine. That's probably the hard part, is if like one wants more of one thing than the other, you just have to learn, like, yes, both should be able to get what they want out of it, but also you should be able to go separate and have your own time.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
One thing that we don't agree on and is a problem with quarantine is the cleanliness.
Yes.
Because I have a hard time like focusing and relaxing unless everything is tidy and put together, and it doesn't even, I'm the type of organizer where it doesn't need to be organized so much in the cabinet or the drawer. It just needs to look on the outside like everything is put away. Like the chair right now is not tucked in, and it's been bothering me this whole podcast.
Yes.
And I know whose fault that is.
Yes.
And I always clean the counters every night and just like vacuum the
She likes to make sure everything's
floors.
put away, whereas me, it's like I want things to be where I last left them, so I know where they're at to go back to or to continue on.
I just like to look and like it's clean and tidy, and it just like brings me peace. So it's
Like a museum.
yeah. And I understand that that's his way. He doesn't care. So sometimes I have to balance and not touch his shit. And other times I hope that you'll be like, okay, this will make Alexis feel better. So I'm going to just put it away or close the cabinet doors. Sorry, tough subject
venting.
here.
I'll be your trash can. Let me be your
my
trash can.
can. I just don't understand why you can't close the cabinets.
Because I'm not done. When I'm done, they'll be closed.
I know, but they're just, they bother me. Oh, God. Okay, so that's what we can't agree on, and that's what we're working on right now.
It's all about checks and balances. Okay, next one. What are some struggles you face with living with a significant other and how to overcome them?
Well, we just went over my biggest one.
There you go. Yeah, like she's all about the cleanliness. Not that I'm dirty, but I'm not as immaculate as she is.
And Joe does all the laundry, so
I try to pick up my slack. But yeah,
he walks the dog and takes care of the dog, and
which is another thing. Sometimes not chores, but responsibilities. Sometimes they get imbalanced, and we get into arguments over that.
I've been teaching Joe how to cook some things because I wouldn't say a bad cook. He just never has done it or tried.
I'm just more of a baker than a cook. Like I'm so over analytical about like what's the exact thing of everything. And then if I don't have them or I don't feel prepared, I just shut down.
And I just am like, oh yeah, this would be good with it. Oh, why don't I put some of this? Da, da, da. So I'm trying to teach him because I wonder, like, I do all the cooking, which I love to do the cooking, but some days I'm like really tired, or what if I'm like, sick or something? He needs to know how to feed us or feed himself.
I can cook. It's just not going to taste good.
Yeah, but you're just going to eat eggs.
It's going to be good enough to be
chicken every night.
Good enough to just barely be palatable, just enough to get it down.
Well, I don't want that for our future family. I don't want to be like, oh my God, you suck at cooking.
I'll get you some nice TV dinners.
Ew, no, thank you.
So it's some of the struggles. But
I think
the biggest thing is just the communication after the fact. Like, everyone's going to have struggles. You don't need to hear our specific ones to relate. The bigger part you should be looking at when you ask a question like that is, how do you get past that struggle? Because to me, the biggest thing I see with couples is they don't know how to get past it. It's just like, I mean, you see it time and time again. The guys talk to the guy friends, the girls talk to the girlfriends, and they vent like, oh, he never does. If in our case, it could be her being like, I don't get why he doesn't cook sometimes, why he doesn't clean. And then I could be going to my friends, I don't get why she needs me to be clean all the time. It's cool. Sometimes you got to vent to your friends, but at some point you have to come back to each other. Because if it's just like you always talking shit to your friends, one, you got to realize that looks bad for you guys as a couple, because if your friends are only hearing the bad side of their significant other, they're going to, especially if it's early in a relationship, they're going to be like, wow, you kind of shouldn't be with this person if all I'm hearing from you is complaints.
Yeah.
So just make sure at some point you meet back together and talk it out. It's going to suck big time. You're going to hate each other for a second, but you have to.
I think that's one of the worst and best things about us is that, like, when I have an issue, I will literally kind of just like be like, what the fuck? Why didn't you close the cabinets right to your face? Which some people might be like, oh my God, that's like too aggressive to just say. But I get it off my chest in the moment, and I'm not going to come back at you in 3 months and be like, you never shut the cabinet.
And I gotta say, maybe it's because I was raised with a Filipino mom who was like that, but also I'm from the East Coast where we're very blunt.
Yeah.
But I prefer that. Again, it's like I almost hate saying I prefer that, because in the moment I don't like that. I'd rather you be nice about it. But at the end of the day, I was just talking to my friend about this. I'd rather you just be blunt, because what's worse than dealing with that 30 minutes of shittiness is the 2 months of you just being passive aggressive, because I hate passive aggressiveness where you're just like, nope, I'm not mad. Oh, guess what? And then like,
or you having no idea, and then for 3 months you just keep leaving the cabinets open, and then I'm like angrier every time, and it's just building in my soul, and I'm like faking it to try to, just keep the peace, but it's really killing me on the inside.
If anyone bottles
How is he supposed to grow? He doesn't read my mind.
If anyone keeps it bottled up, it's going to come out at some point, and whoever's got to keep it bottled up, you're going to be a trash can for real, and you're going to explode. And it just, you have to talk it out.
And then you're going to seem like a ridiculous person when you explode and are crying about cabinets, and your friends are going to be like, what the fuck?
And that's where the communication really breaks down, because then the big arguments happen over the small stuff that actually didn't matter. It was just the accumulation because the bigger thing wasn't addressed. So it could be overall and just like, oh, respect the fact that I like things clean and you don't. But instead it's going to be, and this is coming to my next point, of both people having to be open and aware of like people's personalities. If she's just like, oh my God, close the fucking cabinets. How stupid could you fucking be? Let's say it just blew up.
Yeah.
I could walk away to all my guy friends and be like, dude, she's lost her mind. She just went on a tirade for 30 minutes about me closing cabinets. Like, who cares this much about cabinets? And I've said that before to my friends. I've heard my friends say it to me. If you're saying that to your significant other, or not, if you're saying that to your friends, you've missed the whole point completely, because it's like, you're not going to be wrong. If you're wondering why they're so mad about one little thing, it's because it's not about that little thing. You've got to stop and think about, like, all right, what is this really coming from? Because it's obviously stemming from something else. So just be open enough to, before you react, try and think, where is this coming from? And again, comes back to, if you just communicate and even ask them, hey, why are you being so freaked out-ish? Hopefully they'll be open up as well to admit it. So
there we go.
Next one. Favorite part of living together? I think it's our laziness. Like, to just chill and do nothing. There is it sounds so mundane, but there's just something so easy about, I'm just gonna sit on this couch. I don't even sit on the couch and be lazy.
But you entertain me enough. You and Everly entertain me. It's like, we don't even need to have the TV on. It's just like our weird little life and our weird jokes. It's enough that's fulfilling enough for me on its own. I think that's my favorite part. If you wanted to go out and do stuff all the time, I could not. I don't have the energy.
Yeah. The only thing that makes that even better is if you can find other couples as well who are also into not doing much of anything, because then you all just hang out at the house, maybe play some like party games, and that's it.
And I'm just so glad that, like, you know, you're not forcing me, like, you love to work out. You're not forcing me to work out with you. You're not forcing me to listen to all your podcasts. Like, you have your own things on your own, and I'm not forcing you to learn about, you know, home renovations and watch HGTV with me. Like, we each still have our own little thing that we like to do. And
well, one thing you'll notice, I noticed this with like our other couple friends and us as well, is what you'll realize is, let's say like her big thing was, I just want him to watch these reality shows with me. The more you put it on me to watch it, the more I'm going to be resistant, just because it's like, in anything, no one wants to be forced to watch anything. But what you might be surprised to find is, I'm sure if you took even the crabbiest person, guy or girl, who didn't want to watch or do the thing you wanted to do, and just took that away and just started like doing it on your own, at some point, just because you're doing it enough or whatever it is, they'll probably come in and be like, all right, let me watch one episode or let me partake once. Next thing you know, now you're doing it together. It might not be all the time, but at least like now they're willingly coming to you to do it.
Did I really think Joe would want to watch The Bachelor every week? But
now I could do a whole podcast on just Bachelor talk.
Yeah.
I'm so well informed.
And I never forced it on him, but it's entertaining, and he just like watches it, and it's entertaining.
And going back to what we said in the beginning, it now gives you something to talk about and go over.
And I have no fucking desire to surf. No desire at all. But if he wants to go, I'll fucking go. I'll be on the beach. I'll go swim out. I'll just like egg beat her around and hang out. I don't need to like surf, and he's okay with that too. I'm still there. I'm still present, and he can go alone too. It's just, I don't know. There's no pressure, and I can just fill in where I need to.
You can also think of it as, how do you make it a win for both of you? So like that, in that case, I don't want to surf. And if he forces me to surf, I'm going to be even more mad. But the fact of the matter is, you're never going to surf. So it's like, all right, if she's never going to do that, how else can you make that a win? Well, she does like to go to the beach. So what if she just comes to the beach? Boom. Now it's a win for both of us.
Yeah. I'll swim all around and hang out with you. What's the difference if I'm there on a board or not? I'm still supportive.
Right. Or I don't want to watch The Bachelor, but you know what? If it gives us something to talk about, let me watch one episode and see what's up.
Don't just say, oh, I'm not going to watch The Bachelor because it's for women.
Again, see these trends, being open, just being able to understand.
Give it a chance. Watch one. You know, I don't like Star Wars. I watched The Mandalorian, and I still watch it now. Yes. It's not my favorite thing in the world. I'm not going to watch it by myself, but he enjoys it, so I watch it with him, and it's entertaining for me now that I know what it is, instead of me watching a one-off episode and not being able to keep track.
And I found more often than not, even if she had one show or something that I just didn't, even if after watching I still don't care about it, you'll still probably, because TV is made to be entertaining, you'll still find it at least bare minimum entertaining enough that you're like, fine, fuck it, I'll watch the whole season, I don't care.
Yeah, and it's just a balance. Or you say, this one is one you can watch without me, and I'll watch it while
I listen to podcasts.
You're doing something else, and so I have that time of my alone time, and I don't feel like, I never get to watch my shows because we're always watching this. No. So. Okay, next one.
What else? With COVID still having most things closed and people are at home more than before, I'm curious how you guys balance time together and whatnot.
I mean, that's pretty much what we've been
Yeah, that's
doing.
everything we've been going over.
Ooh, I will say I upgraded all my pajamas because this is one of my sets that I bought.
Oh my gosh.
And this has really impacted my life. This is not really related to the question, but I'm very excited about it. Because
Wow.
all I've been doing is wearing pajamas, right? So I wanted to at least have cute ones. I've been wearing the same fucking pajamas since high school.
Gotta up that leisure wear.
So I was like, you know what? Let me be a little bit on trend, buy some cute matching sweatpants and tops, and it's just made me feel cuter around the house. I feel less like a homeless person, and I don't know. It's made me feel just better since that's all I wear all the time now.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. So there you go. Find common interests. Be open to communication. Always discuss your issues and find the root of the problem, not just whatever the surface level stuff they're talking about is. Be super insightful. And this isn't stuff that's just going to happen. It's going to take time. But the biggest thing you could do during any negative moment or anything that you guys disagree on is just stop and both people think, what else is coming out of this, or what else can I do to turn this around? The problem is people are too quick to emotionally react and be like, screw you, I'm not having this fight, you tire me out, blah, blah, blah.
And to just drop your ego, like you're not fucking perfect,
Right.
and either is this other person.
The thing that always resonates with me is when someone says, do you want to be right or do you want to win? Because that's what happens with arguments. Sometimes you just bicker back and forth because you just don't want them, you don't want to give them the win, and it's just not healthy. So
You're on the same team.
Yeah.
It's us against the problem, even if Joe created the problem.
oh, then his fight works.
I don't know. It's been a stressful COVID, but kind of the introverted me is kind of obsessed with it and loving it. If only we could have just been married already, then I would be totally fine. That's my biggest stressor.
Yes.
So other than that, I don't know. We have fight and we bicker, but
Just figure it out.
we're
Just gotta
figuring it out.
Figure shit out, even
And-
if it's live on a podcast.
And every fucking month, there's going to be something new. Like, I'm growing as a person, he's growing as a person. It's not always together. It's, you know.
Oh, and then the one last thing I will mention is as you're working on it, you're going to hit a stride where it's like, oh, this shit's working. Like, we're the best we've ever been. And then something will come that sets you, it's only a step back, but it's going to feel like you went back to square one. And you're going to hit this point where both of you are like, I really thought things were going good. And I feel like we're worse off than we've ever been. And we went back all the way to the beginning. And you just have to stop, take a breath, and realize even though it feels that way, you didn't. It's only one step back and you'll go 2 steps forward. Just keep doing what you were doing. You're going to have a moment each month where you're just like, I feel like we lost all progress, but you didn't. You just have to trust it.
And there's no one who's going to be perfect match balance with you.
Right.
So
Whatever
grass
problem
isn't
you think
fucking
that
greener.
person
Grass
has,
isn't greener.
your next significant other is going to have a different one. So it's
the
always
opposite.
going to have
And you're going to be
something.
like, oh, I remember when that last guy didn't do any of this, and now I miss how
Yeah.
he was. So put in the
Try
time.
it out. Let us know. And as usual, thank you for asking the questions. I'm glad you like the content we have. And if anyone else has questions, I love answering them. I think this format's great. So let us know what questions you have. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time.
Hit a little.